All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of The Studio. Once again, sort of an out of office edition. As well, I mean, this has technically been my office, but this is the
Yeah, technically your office, yeah.
last recording for this show here. We'll probably do the Godcast and the briefing. Yeah, we'll do that before I move. But then after that,
just do it when you're live here, which I think would be a lot more fun.
well, I mean, no, because those need to be out on a schedule. We have a schedule.
Oh, that's we got schedules to keep.
See, look, when the boss goes halfway around the world, he forgets about things like timelines and schedules, and this is why you need me down there. But
That's right.
So again, the studio. This is brought to you by, or as a part of Gosu Network. I don't really know what this episode or this series is. We just kind of threw it together, and it goes on Smite Central because we can.
Because why not? I mean, we might as well put it on Overwatch Core. At the same time, might as well. Just add
because then
content.
it'll start having stuff. So we'll start referencing it over on Overwatch Core to get people over to Smite Central channel.
Yeah. So kind of put it on there, and we'll put it on the Ghost stuff. Anyway, so this is like a series that we kind of do, and it actually just kind of developed organically when Target and we were just kind of talking about other games and things like that in between doing the Godcast and the Overwatch briefing, and we determined that we have a lot more interests and a lot more knowledge about other stuff besides Smite and Overwatch and things like that. So we just wanted to kind of start talking about that kind of stuff a little bit more openly, since this is kind of an unsponsored thing. We can kind of rant and
could get us in trouble. I would not be surprised at all to get yelled at for this episode.
Because this episode has a lot of heat to it.
And so
emotional.
And one of the remarks that I made to somebody off air, and I'll make it now, is if you're going to talk shit, to call people out and to in the specific case that I'm thinking of, to actively BM, then you need to be prepared to receive the heat for doing so, as well as own up to the fact that you did, because you can't, I can't say that JR's casting is garbage and he sounds like he's gargling salt water during a cast without being able to back it up with facts. I can't just say that and then JR to be like, what the hell, man? I'm going, it's part of my job, but then I can't, back that up. I need to be able to back that up and say, see, this is why I'm saying that, and I need to own up the fact that JR's not going to like me now for a little bit. Just awkward because we're moving in together over the summer.
Which can be weird.
But that's the point. Is that, and I am using a sort of silly argument here because I don't want to call out something that I have to make up on the spot and risk it being something that somebody actually takes offense to.
Right. But but you're right, because there are things as casters sometimes we do run that line of whether or not we're BMing the player or we're BMing the play, kind of a thing. And it's and
there's a difference between calling the play,
right,
questioning the play, and actually saying this player threw the game, and this
player A sucks because he's never been able to do this or that or this kind of thing. I don't understand why X team decided to pick these people up, that kind of thing. Because it does get to those things. I mean, and sometimes as a caster, you want to build these storylines, you want to build these kind of things up, but at the same time, you trying to actively be a jackass just to kind of get your I won't say rocks off, but your but your fans, like, or the fans in an uproar, just so you can kind of get that sense of drive is not really like the way to do it. I mean,
and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna own, as we said at the beginning, you have to own it. This was brought on by the shit show that was the casting this weekend. Particularly Adonis. Yes, Hi-Res Adonis, I'm calling you out right now because, again, I'm owning it. I, first of all, couldn't watch Saturday. Between technical difficulties and then timing, I just couldn't watch it. But Sunday, which was the shit show of a cast, first of all, it wasn't exciting. When I know that all four of the teams are going to get in, I don't care.
Yeah, so it's hard to back it.
Second of all, when I tune in and Adonis is yelling and actively BMing his co-caster, and you see him and F-Dot trying to talk over each other for part of a game, I turned that off. I said, forget this. And then I saw people tweeting, people who do not partake in BM talk ever, going, what the hell is Adonis going in on? I tune back in. And it makes no sense. Like, and I'm watching it, and I'm seeing, okay, yeah, I can see that he's got an issue with it. And he talked about, God, it sucks. How am I supposed to, fine, defend yourself however you want to on Twitter. But here's my point, is when you are casting, it is your job to make it worth watching and make it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Which means you talk about capitalizing on the mistakes. You don't talk about them making mistakes. You don't talk about them throwing the game. Sure, you can joke about the throws and you can say, oh my God, it is a throw. But it's different to actively call a player out and say, do you think that you threw the game? Like, first of all, you are not the judge, jury, and executioner. And second of all, the players have to go over these VODs later. They already know that they messed up if they lost. They don't want to see you ripping into them for 45 minutes. Yeah. So, perfect example is go watch Shanghai. Pick a cast of the Shanghai majors, particularly the Chinese ones. The casters did a very good job of, yeah, sure, they questioned stuff. Sure, they were a little bit harsh at times, but these were not best of 3 45-minute games each or whatever, where they were just ripping into the players the entire time.
Right.
They made compelling storylines, even with the Archon games. No offense to Archon, but everybody knew that Archon was the weakest team going in. And they didn't rip into Archon. Oh, God, what a horrible player. Oh, God, he's an idiot. It was, you make the storyline the best you can, and nobody wants to watch a game where you're actively saying these guys suck, you shouldn't watch them.
Yeah.
That's my point. As a caster, you are not doing your job correctly if you are saying these guys suck, nobody should be watching them. And that is effectively what Adonis said. And that is all that I'm going to say on that topic. But when it's my job to watch these games and I can't watch them because it's that painful, I'm going to say it. And I'm going to own the fact that, if you want to call me on that, Adonis, you know where my Twitter is, you know where my email is, feel free to yell at me. I will eat that. I will hold that. I will not. Seriously, I don't have a problem with that.
That would actually be a great head-to-head kind of article thing. It would be.
I don't care. I mean, really, and I respect Adonis as a caster. I respect him as a person. I've met him. I've shook his hand again. Congratulations for him being able to get as far as he did in the last year. Yeah, the last year. That's it. He's only been casting for a year. But there's a lot that not just we as the entire Smite community and even other groups need to learn. And I think Dota is one of the best ones because they're so old. Yes, I'm calling most of the casters out there old. Toby, I love you, but let's be honest, you've been doing this for a while. That's a good thing, though, is that you can look at the aging process in Dota and say, okay, what can we learn from this? I'm not saying go clone them. I'm saying learn from it.
Yeah, and it's funny because this weekend was just chock full of stuff because you had the League of Legends finals going on. You had IEM. You had
League of Legends at IEM. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had Heroes of the Storm going on over there in Europe for the Blizzard tournament there, and it was just like you saw that in Shanghai, and then so you saw all these different. I was flipping between 6 different streams, just watching all these different things, and it was funny because kind of coming up to the point. Well, one, I liked Ally. I like Ally. So I liked him casting this weekend alongside. But it was bad when you're going from one stream to the other, to the other, to the other, and you finally get to Smite game, and there it is, 2 guys like you and me hanging out in their regular street clothes, but yet it's a sponsored stream, or it is the official stream of the official makers of the game, and you've got basically, I'm sorry, 2 Rugrats cast in the games, while on every other one you have people dressed up nice, and it's when you look at that, it that right there shows where you sit in the stack of games. Okay, well, these guys are dressed professionally, these guys are dressed professionally, these guys are dressed professionally, these guys aren't. This must be like a normal average community stream. Oh no, wait, this is the official stream. Who are these guys? I don't care.
And that's harsh, but I mean.
But it is. But I mean,
it's a discussion that's had on Dota last night. On Around the Pit, they were talking about a dress code kind of thing, and Around the Pit, similar to this kind of talk show or like the briefing or anything. Only there's 4 guys. It's closer to Around the Horn in on ESPN, where they award points for whatever reason. And they were talking about how is there a dress code? And at majors, there is not an official dress code for Valve. Valve doesn't say this is the dress code, but at the international, if you were not dressed appropriately, Valve would actually go and loan you a suit.
Yeah.
Valve actually went out, and I think actually they bought a suit for one of their players, and I don't know if, or their hosts. And I don't know if they took it out of his pay or not. That's not the point. You know, oh boo-hoo, that you're punishing the guys that actually
But
directly.
but there's a dress code because
there's a dress code for
Yeah.
you're being professional. You're representing a game. Yes, sure, Valve is bigger than Smite. I get it. But at the same time, if your casters cannot take the time to clean themselves up, yes, I'm taking a brief pot shot at some of those god-awful beards, but also in terms of dress, you know, it really shouldn't, you know, you should at the very least have a button-down shirt on and maybe not a jacket,
a suit or tie. You know,
a suit or tie. It depends, and I get it that it's relegations, so maybe not as important. And again,
but at the same time, you should look nice because it is one of those things. I mean, like we've both been in this business for decades, and you know, even in the infancy,
just you,
just me. Okay, well,
Just him.
even in the infancy of StarCraft, like when StarCraft was really kind of the thing, there was for your StarCraft 1, or even even getting into early StarCraft 2, there was, you know, when you were doing your community cast, you can kind of wear whatever you want because you're your community. But if you were doing something for Blizzard, you looked nice because here's the thing is, you know, back in StarCraft 2 days, we were still like an underculture kind of a thing. But now when Yahoo, when ESPN, when all these other big name like actual legitimate sports agencies are covering esports, this is when we're in the big time. And you need to look a little bit better. I mean, even for our community events, if we were on camera, like we're probably going to be here coming into the studio over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna look a little bit better. We're going to be wearing nice slacks, button-down shirt, probably not ties because I don't do ties, and then and then maybe a jacket.
I gotta take the notes. Need to buy a new jacket, which is actually true. I do have that on my list of things to buy as a new jacket for work.
Because it's one of those things because it makes you look professional, you know, and it's just one of those things that you can't be taken seriously. And yes, I understand that it is relegation. It is like the lower tier kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's if I'm brand new to esports and I want to look at all the different games. Well, I see 100,000 viewers. Yeah, I see 100,000 viewers on League of Legends. I see 600,000 people watching Dota. I see 50,000 people watching Heroes of the Storm, and I see 5,000 people watching Smite, and I see 2 people basically dressed in let's just call it gym clothes. I'm going to know why there's only 5,000 people watching.
Yeah, I did not ever actually tune in over this weekend to see what they were wearing. I just heard that Adonis still has his ugly beard and
beards and stuff I don't mind, but it's like they were wearing I call it gym clothes, but really it's like it's buttoned down like plaid shirt and jeans. That's
not lovely.
That's great if you're going to Fuddruckers. But we're casting a professional esport, and Hi-Rez should know better.
Place, by the way, for those people who don't know what Fuddruckers
exactly. If you don't know what Fuddruckers is, it's a hell of a nice place. But see that's the thing, and I understand. Again, this goes back to Hi-Rez trying to be those cool guys that kind of hang out and do stuff. Hey, that's great. That's fantastic. Really great.
And if that's what they want to take, that's fine.
That's
but you need
awesome.
to accept the fact that you are not going to grow as an esport if you do not take yourself more seriously. And I get it. Esports isn't real sports. Fine, I get that. But what you need to accept is that you have to...
I'm going to slap you in the face if you ever say that.
So next week when I show up on Red Mark, it's because I'm going to say it to his face just to see if he actually does it. But seriously, everybody in the Smite community bitches and moans about how come ESPN isn't covering Smite? Why is it covering Street Fighter but not Smite? Well, first of all, Street Fighter's got more viewers than Smite does on a regular basis, and second of all, when they actually do a major, they take themselves seriously. Go look at David and James, Ultra David and James Chen or Ultra Chen, or I forget what their or Ultra David. I don't know. They change their name like every other week.
Every other week.
Look at them. Whenever they cast, they do their own personal show. And they are dressed to the nines. Now, first of all, David can dress very nicely, so that's just him being a smart man and dress. But everybody, when you're hosting an event at EVO where guys take off their shirts because they can, the commentators still look professional. Mm-hmm. If Smite does not look if Smite is not able to package itself as a good competitive game, people aren't going to pay attention. And guess what? Smite doesn't have the numbers that Dota has. It doesn't have the numbers that League has. It doesn't have the number that Counter-Strike has. So it cannot ride on, oh, we're a good game to watch. Yes, the game is easier to watch than League. Yes, the game has a better UI than
anything
Dota
else.
Does. Yes, the game has amazing potential to be an amazing spectator sport. But the problem is that because it has all of these yes ands or yes buts, you have to find a way to make it work. And the way you do that is by packaging it nicely.
Right, and
It comes down to all of us, and this is not just on Smite Game. This is on us as casters. This is on EGL. This is on our other casters on Smite Central. This is on Tier Monster. This is on Challengers Cup. This is on Detonate. This is, if you are a part of this now bigger package, especially now that Hi-Rez has shaved down community tournaments to they will support community tournaments directly, and then we're going to be putting a portal to your website on esports.smitegame.com, then all of us need to get our shit together so we can package this and sell it. Otherwise, we're going to become that guy in Aladdin slinging camel shit, in the first 5 minutes. Yes, I am referencing a movie from 94.
Awesome. But,
I'm trying to get some movies that Redmage has actually seen.
That's right. And so to kind of tie all this together, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Kind of.
And quite frankly, if you're casting, esports professionally, that is the job that should be the job that you want. Where that's what you should be looking like. I was watching. There were a couple guys who were casting a working analyst desk at Shanghai, and they were wearing just a button-down shirt and slacks and everything else, but they didn't have a jacket on. I was like, okay. A little bit sloppy, but it's the analyst's desk. You're allowed to be a little bit lax there. But as soon as you hit the guys that were, especially once they got onto the main stage and had all the production stuff sorted, they always looked clean. Yes, Blitz always looks like he's a 12-year-old stuck in his dad's suit, but that's Blitz. That's nothing else.
That's nothing else. But I mean, and there's, my friend Techa, he was over, casting the Heroes of the Storm this weekend. Whenever they're sitting at the desk, they've got the full suit on up top, and they're probably more likely wearing, soccer shorts and sandals behind the desk. But you look pro up top, and then casual at the bottom. That's fine because they don't know. They'll never know. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things that thing, and that's all we're looking for is just to look a little bit more professional. Because that's
one of those. Shirts that cuts off here.
The dicky. Yeah, you just gotta get the little dicky thing going on. Yeah, no problem. We'll just get that. You know what? We're just gonna get like the little cutouts that they would put.
Yes. You sit in at the.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, it should be exciting. And more importantly, and that's just it. Is you need to package it as a whole. That is your job. That is our job as casters. And as casters, not as analysts. The analyst's desk is a little bit different. But as a commentator, your job is to sell the action that is going on for those 10 people that are doing. Your job is to give a voice to the gameplay that is going on. And one second, I'm checking the message here so I don't mess up the screen there. In case it was.
You broke it.
I broke it.
It's done broke. But yeah, it's just
Another call. I was just worried that it was something that maybe came from higher up, and no, it's one of your underlings. But no, you need.
But I have so many.
This is unfortunately true. He does now. Power's going to his head. But no,
that's right.
You've got 10 people that are all trying their best to win the game. If somebody's actively throwing the game, sure, call them on it. But I seriously doubt that anybody in a relegations match, sure, they don't matter, would actively try to throw the game. In that case, call them on it. But again, or you know what, I don't care what you do. But remember that whatever you are doing on Smite Game, direct or Dota Major, if we want to talk about James briefly, whatever you do directly represents the people that are running production, directly represents the people that are playing the game, and it directly represents the people that are funding it. So whatever you do or say on Smite Game directly represents all the way up to Todd, Erez, and Stu.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, that's what you have to remember is that you are trying to sell their game.
Yep.
I mean, yes, we're selling the esports of it, and there's more to it, but at the very core, we're really just salesmen for whatever game we're casting.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds really bad, but hey, that's what the studio is all about. It's just really just giving you to you as it is when you break it down to its bare minimums.
Yep. That's just kind of the way it is. All right, so let's move on from Smite for 2 seconds, because it's an exciting day for huh?
Done. Your 2 seconds are up. Move on.
2 seconds. Yes. So wow, we've done. All right. So big announcements today big good announcements, because I'm going to do the crappy one later. So all right. So Blizzard has gone ahead and set an official date for Overwatch. Not just that, but they set an official opening date for open beta for all of you people who have
and for pre-order beta as well.
And for pre-order beta. So all that kind of stuff. You can actually go and read that over on the Battle.net. Check it out. It's going to give you all the really big details. But
and we'll talk more about it on the briefing as well.
On the briefing, later on this week. But to kind of get the nuts and bolts of the whole thing in here, if you pre-order the game, now here's the if. You can't pre-order the game at GameStop or Amazon or that kind of a thing for this kind of thing to work.
Yes, you can.
Oh, can you?
The point is again, you have to pre-order before April 29th, and whoever you pre-order through will send you a code that will activate the game for the pre-order thing. Because pretty much what happens is I'm pre-ordering on Amazon. I actually haven't done it yet, but I go on Amazon.com, clickety click enter, and I go and I do it. And when I buy the game, it'll give me here. Take this code and you give it to, you buy it and it shows up on Battle.net and you're good to go. It's a little bit complicated, a little more complicated than that. But at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be.
Okay, that's good. Okay, good.
Yeah, there's going to be a week of...
I misread my message then, because that was like, you pre-ordered on Amazon, so it's not going to count.
Well, so again, according to the post on Battle.net, it said go to the retailer and see, but they should.
They should.
So I don't
looking
know
at you, Amazon. so
again, it's gonna be interesting to see, and you know what? At this point, I'm okay if I don't get 2 days. Mainly because it's gonna be the middle of work season.
You mean like what we do for our job of playing these games?
This is true, but
I'm sorry, analyzing. I should bunny ears the analyzing these games. Which by the way, okay, all right. I'm going to take 2 seconds off of this topic for thing, because you and I have been, just we're going to jump. This is squirrel. I lose focus. So you and I have been like complaining about not being an Overwatch, and you were like, yeah, tactical team-based shooters like Dirty Bomb. Well, I decided yesterday I was going to download Dirty Bomb, and by God, I played like 3 games of that, and I was like, I want to keep playing the Dirty Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's the bad part: is if I had gotten him to play this 2 weeks ago, he could have bought the Humble Bundle for $1 instead of $30 on Steam.
Instead of $30 on Steam, but there you go. That's going to be my endorsement right there for some Dirty Bomb, because that is some fun-ass game. But anyway,
it's not perfect, but it is a fun free-to-play game.
It is a very fun free-to-play game.
Speaking of,
and I really like the characters.
To tangent as well, really quickly. Paladins, I've been playing it recently as well. It's closer to a game now.
Oh my God, it's gotten off its ass. Are you kidding me?
It's got balance issues. Sky's still too strong and some of that stuff. But it's a game. It feels good. It's kind of meaty. The characters, they added a couple new voice lines that help flesh it out. The characters still feel kind of generic, but it's better. And yeah, sure, if I get stuck on a character that I'm not good at or a team that I hate, I'm like, okay, forget this, I'm done with Paladins again. But I found myself playing Paladins again. So, and sure, it's a free-to-play game and everything else. And I don't know how long it's going to stick, but it's sticking for me right now.
Huh.
So that's something to keep in mind, as I have something in my eye.
I thought you were also looking at Amazon.
No, I mean I'm always watching Amazon, but no, there was a nice little storm that rolled through earlier today, so I've got this nice sinus headache that's pushing out through my eyeballs.
Oh, I hate that. That sucks. Wait till you get to Virginia, buddy.
I remember what that was like. I grew up there.
I grew up not far from where we are now. Oh. But so
you actually grew up down the road from where I lived.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. So it's pretty nice. So so there's Overwatch. So you can go check that out. We'll be talking to guys later on this week about that more in detail.
Wednesday or Thursday. Expect to
Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, no, they'll be uploaded by then. Look at him for getting the other artwork done.
Yeah, so
I'll put that on him.
Yeah,
This computer's getting packed up by Thursday afternoon, so
it is done. So and also, by the way, if you're looking at the artwork that we've done for like the thumbnails of the briefing specifically, let me know which one you like. Just put it in the comments there of the YouTube. Just Overwatch Core of the briefing.
I gotta check these out.
Because I did a different one last week, and I honestly could not find where I put the stupid file. So I was like, I don't know if anybody really likes that.
Episode 4, episode 5.
Episode 4.
Episode 4 is an interesting one. Personally, I'm just gonna throw my 2 cents here because the other ones are so like fairly standard.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a throw off, but it looks good. I like it. It looks like the intro of a '90s like cartoon where it's like boom and then it stops on like the name of the episode.
That is actually what I was going for, because that is actually like a screen bit of the intro that I'm putting together for us. So
yeah, it's I like it. It's very different, but let us know if you do like it. And what just happened?
So yeah,
sorry, I'm seeing Smite drama.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can tweet at me, or you can tweet it at Target, or you can leave a comment there at
MTarget products. Just cut out the production, the ION.
Product, because I have yet to remake his.
Now, to be fair, MTarget production is my second choice. My first choice is MTarget, but some dude who I think it's Korean has not used his Twitter since 2010. Great. MTarget production is too long. MTarget product is the maximum amount of characters that you can have on Twitter.
Yeah. We had to just give you Gosu and Target, and that would be...
Yeah, but do you have any idea? I'd have to reprint business cards. I'd have to... so much I've accepted MTarget product that I'm just going to use. I mean, that said, if the boss wants to help me make new business cards, we'll talk.
That's right.
But...
So there we go. So there's the news for Overwatch. Again, we'll get into that later on this week in more detail, but you can always go read that stuff.
We're excited. We have a date.
It's great, and that may be happy pants all day, along with Paragon. Again, started is still taking beta and alpha invites, so you can go into Paragon. Just Google Epic and Paragon, and then you can sign up for the beta right there, because they're going to start rolling out some really good stuff for that here soon. You can actually get a early access, founders pack, all that kind of stuff. Ranges in from about $20 to $100, depending on how much you want to get. And honestly, for the $100 super mega ultra
it's
pack,
really only $80 because you can sell your friend one for $20.
Exactly. That's and for $80 and your buddy chips in 20, you get a bunch of skins, you get a bunch of other stuff, and then plus you get early access to the game, which looks amazing.
Yeah, and that's guaranteed access. It's sort of jumping you to the front of the line for the list. So depending on how many people are buying up access, founders packs, and will determine how quickly other people are allowed in. Game looks awesome. It's leaps and bounds better every single update, and we're talking weekly here.
Yeah,
weekly updates that just wow. It's a very, very aggressive development team, and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Look. I mean, if you just go to their website and you see the little models there, it's just the actual in-game model. It's like it will make you weep at how good those how awesomely polished those models are. I mean,
they are very, very well polished, and I mean, and it's just it keeps looking better. If you look at this image if you go to epicgames.com/Paragon. And there's that that background that shows the forest.
Yeah,
that's nothing compared to in-game. I will tell you guys that.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, so it's and it's crazy, and they're working on it all the time, tweaking things, listening, and it's impressive. And the characters have a little bit of character to them. For characters that don't have voice lines, for characters that don't have a whole lot of backstory, they feel unique. So I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, and they feel like they got a personality. They feel like they've got a history, and that's just good character design right there.
Yeah, and so again, props to Epic. A lot of people, somebody was bashing Unreal Engine and saying, I have no interest in a game in an engine that hasn't had anything shipped by their own developer. And so, well, first of all, they haven't started work. their first 2 games in the last, or 3 games in the last 15 years practically are almost all done. And second of all, they've been, busting their ass on making all of those other engines for you, like keeping Unreal Engine 3 going, even though it's a dead engine at this point.
Let's face it, having a free UDK is pretty badass.
That too.
I'm just saying.
But the fact that Paragon they went whole hog into it. Unreal Tournament as well. They've gone ham on it, and they just started actually working with ESL. And when I say working with ESL, I mean ESL took their Community Cup website and said, "Here, you guys can run tournaments off of this page," and then the community of the Unreal Tournament community has then dove very hard onto that. Unreal is one of those games that I love to watch, but I can't play for the life of me. It's got such a unique movement system. It's not even the speed for me; it's the movement system that's weird. I'd rather play Quake or Reflex, which is unfortunate. But it's crazy to see that work, and I think Paragon's got a chance to really be a niche MOBA. Probably a tier 2. I mean, I think tier 1 MOBAs are set. Until League of Legends or Dota dies, I don't think any other tier 1 MOBA will rise. And that said, Dota has a chance of dying because Dota, if you look at the list of pro players are shuffling. They have the Smite problem of when's the last new player you saw show up. And at least Smite has some, and they're a lot younger. But I mean, you've got guys that are, in their mid-30s with no sign of slowing down in Dota, which props to them. Yeah. But by the time you hit your mid-30s, you really should be looking at, and there's only very few. Most of the guys are in their late 20s, but still, that's technically old as a pro player is concerned. Right. Most pro players should be my age-ish, a little bit younger in most cases. Not, and that's just, and I'm just saying, that's the case of it is. So Dota has a chance of petering out or having a massive shift in quality of player. Right. But we'll see how Dota goes. And then maybe that does open stuff up for Paragon, or maybe Smite can bump into tier 1 finally or something. We'll see. Overwatch is definitely going to fill in that other tier 1 spot, though. Yeah. As far as competitive shooters are concerned, you've got Counter-Strike, and that's it right now as far as tier 1s. There's definitely room for 2 shooters at the top, and I don't see why Overwatch can't be one of them. Except... we're gonna go back to this really quickly. I am going to call at the beginning. We're talking about calling out people. I'm gonna go ahead and call out ZP and the guys over at Gosu Gamers. Y'all need to get your casting act together. I understand that ZP. I understand that you are running production as well as casting, but I can. We've all done it, buddy. As somebody who has done that for literally years, and as somebody who has, because he's somebody that casts Heroes of the Storm, I know that he can cast 5v5 people and rattling off ability names and this ultimate, and you go. He can do it. I have seen you do it. This is why I'm calling you here. If I didn't know you and I didn't think you could do it, I wouldn't be calling. I'd say that you were doing poorly, and I wouldn't tell you that to fix it. I know you have the skills to cast a team fight cleanly. Please make it so I can watch Gosu Overwatch again. I literally, when I turn on the tournament, I have to watch it muted. Because it's that clumsy of a cast. And it hurts me because I know that the casters are better than that, the game deserves better than that, and that is the premier competitive thing right now. We talked about it before. When you're representing the game, that's what people have to go off of, is that's the only community tournament, right now that really represents at a high level, because that's the, the biggest one and the longest one. So, community members deserve better. You guys deserve better. I would say, here, I'll show you how I would do it, but I'm not in it right now, so I can't. But there are a lot of little things that I expect better out of a former MOBA caster. It's not like you have to cover items or anything, too. So you don't have that excuse of, as a Heroes caster. No, it's abilities. Yeah. Sure, there's 21 characters to memorize, but guess what? That's 21 characters to memorize. There's only 21. No abilities, nothing. Like... How many were there in Han back in the day for you? There's 70-odd in Smite. There's 110 in Dota. There's 130 in League. There's 60 or 70 in Heroes.
Yeah, there's there's a lot, and yeah, without having to deal with the items and stuff like that, it's easy as pie. Or let me rephrase that: it's not easy as pie, but it should be one of those things that you're versed enough and you're good enough. Because I have to give a target on this. We've been fans for a long time, and we try to watch Gosu Gamers for a lot of things because one, the casting is usually really top notch. They get a lot of really great guys for it, and they generally have a good production team. And so, to kind of see Overwatch not getting its fair oomph into this is
Difficult.
is a little difficult for us to accept, let alone stomach. So it's just one of those things of like, are we in it? No. And
So saying put up or shut up. Okay, we get it. We're gonna shut up after this. But
yeah, but
by the way, come May,
we,
I am going to be putting up, and
yeah,
I am going to be the best damn caster that you've ever seen. Calling you out, Redmage. I'm racing you. I'm gonna be there. They're gonna like me more than you.
Yeah, so we're gonna see that. Yeah, so yeah, you guys have a unique advantage right now to pull ahead in the race because once everybody else is allowed to come into it, you guys are gonna find yourself on a very short end of a stick, and that stick is going to bite these two.
We might.
Yeah, we don't know.
And there might be some new kids on the block that get picked up by ESL or get picked up by Blizzard, and Blizzard's like, okay, let's go, and it's like, oh god, I can't do that. In which case we reevaluate. Yep. But I'd like to think that I'm doing better. I'd like to think that I have a potential to do that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Professional rivalries. That's how it is.
Yes, professional rivalries. That's how it is.
Yeah. So there you go. So there you go. So we talked a little bit about Paladins. We talked a little bit about Smite. Talked a little bit about Overwatch. Now it's my turn to get a little pissy about stuff. Yeah.
Let the game dev student begin.
Okay, so today Microsoft announced that it was going to close Lionhead Studios. Now, I have been a fan of Lionhead Studios for 2 decades since they came out with Black and White, which I still think is the far superior simulation game next to anything that Sid Meier's has ever put out. Love you, Sid. But them decided to close Lionheart Studios and cancel Fables Legends irks me to the core. Because one, Fable is a series that can stand on its own. You can sell that game and people will buy it.
Oh, it's please. They were talking about it before where, they were like, hey, here's the beta thing. And people were like, take my money now. And I'm like, this game's not even done.
Just take it. Yeah, it's great. Here, take all this money and take it because I want to play it. Because Fable, it's just that way. It's like Metal Gear Solid and those other games.
It's like Halo. It's like Halo. It sells no matter what, whether or not
slap it on the box. I mean,
you might not be able to sell much past that last game, but at the very least, you can recoup your costs on Fable Legends. And once you release the game, then you can let the guys go from the studio or something else. But and then it occurred to me, I know what the problem is. I know Minuta Bita. I know exactly what the problem is on this one. They were going to cross-platform Windows 10 and the Xbox One. Now let me think back to another fantastic game that is very near and dear to Redmage's heart. Oh wait, Shadowrun. Thank you very much, Windows, for that monstrosity. Because I can pretty much speculate without having any real knowledge of the exact things, but I can pretty much narrow down, as we all can, that when Microsoft decides to pimp both its operating system and its console, disasters occur. And so if they were to keep them separate, they probably wouldn't have this problem. I'm sure they're hemorrhaging money with the R&D on it, because it's not like they can't just release the game and make money. They can, and they probably should. Those people are talented enough to do just about anything, except Microsoft is the problem. I'm totally seeing that as Microsoft being the problem. But this brings me to another weird conclusion here, because as Target and I were kind of talking ahead of time, it's like, well, we don't really, we don't want to play with console people, and console people really don't want to play with PC people. And that's no offense to console people or PC people. It's just, again, if I want to use a controller,
it's a culture.
Yeah,
right. It's a cultural thing. For the longest time, I was a console only player. I was a console only player because I was tired of all having to upgrade and do all this other crap with my PC to do that kind of thing. Then I became a PC player. Then I'm kind of back into both worlds, foot into both worlds. But it occurs to me that we have a similar game out now that is having the problem of branching itself into two different worlds of the PC and the Xbox One. Hello, Smite. Can't seem to connect.
And that's fine. That's the
which
point.
is fine. But but at the same time, Microsoft is trying to do this. Hey, let's hold hands. Let's be buddies. Let's be friends. Where Hi-Rez is like, no, you play on your stuff and you play on your stuff, and then we'll be fine. That's just the way it's going to be, and it's fantastic. Because that's what it is. And then you also have Overwatch, who is also like, here's our PC, and then here's our console stuff. It's going to remain separate. And
the consoles are separate as well. They're not doing...
Yeah, they're not crossing over on those. You don't cross the streams! Did you learn nothing from Ghostbusters?
The only time that I've seen cross work correctly, and this is going to be funny here, the only cross platforms that I've seen work correctly is fighting games, and with Sony, not with Microsoft. There is a reason.
Which is weird, because
Street Fighter
Sony sucks!
There is a reason. Well, and it's because what Street Fighter did is Street Fighter V made their own mini network. That's their own it's pretty much it's an intranet sort of.
Yeah, it's a little.
And you log into it via PlayStation and PC, and you then get into this little network, and then you just talk to it, and you're good to go. Fun fact: there's actually a fighting game player that I follow who he queues on PC and on PS4 at the same time.
Did he actually?
Because his queues are so long.
Yeah.
He queued against himself.
I was going to say, did he?
So he had to rage quit against himself.
That's awesome.
But anyways, so point being though is that all of these successful multi-platform releases that we have seen have been segregated releases. Another title that we used to be extremely excited for that has been killed by Microsoft. It's not dead yet. But Motiga's gigantic. Xbox and PC only, and the only way to access it on PC is through the Windows Store. It's not even like you can go to the Motiga website and download it. No, you have to go to the Windows Store and buy it. And fun fact, I'm in the beta. I'm allowed to talk about it now. I registered it on my phone. I was actually on a Windows phone at the time. And so my Windows phone is connected to my Windows account. I registered it on my phone because I was like, oh, cool, get it in right now, because they relaunched and whatever else. I cannot access my gigantic account anymore. I mean, I can argue with Motiga and I can argue with Microsoft, but I don't have the time or the energy to do that, to play a game that I've lost my love for. But Windows is like, nope, you cannot download this game, because I didn't download it immediately after registering it. And so Windows is cock-blocking me from trying this game that Motiga has... Motiga has said, hey,
wants you to play.
They want me to stream it. They've sent me emails being like, hey, go stream it. And I was like, look, I can't access your game. And Motiga's like, shit, what do we do? And I'm like, look, don't bother. I don't care. It's
sorry.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But so Motiga has had issues. And this was before they even opened up Xbox One stuff. Once they opened up Xbox One stuff, it just got worse.
Yeah, so, and it's which is weird, because Microsoft back in the Xbox 360 time was fantastic to work for indies. It was great. It was kind of easy to kind of get things through. It was kind of easy to get stuff like that done. And then and Sony was the SOB to try to get stuff
which it still is, by the way.
Well, no, but it's easier though. It's easier than it has been. Let me rephrase that. It's easier than it has been in decades. But now Xbox has turned into this giant a-hole of stuff. I mean, honestly, I agree with you. Like using the Microsoft Store to get games, I'd rather go over to the Origin.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I would rather use EA's crap than use Microsoft.
I'd rather use Uplay. Origin's at least okay. God. I'd rather use Uplay. That's actually how bad it is right now. But no, it's like Gears of War Ultimate Edition came out. And they did it on Xbox, and it came out, and Splash Damage was busting their ass trying to finish it for PC. And I don't know what happened. I love Splash Damage with the guys that make Dirty Bomb.
Dude,
and it finally got released on PC, but the push, first of all, it got released without any fanfare. It just was on, and it was like, oh, cool. Because I followed the CEO of Splash Damage, and he's like, "Hey guys, it's out, cool." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." What? But
Gotta go.
the issue is that you have to, again, buy it through the Windows Store, which means you have to have a Windows account set up. I have a Windows account set up, and I have some really god awful Xbox name because I never actually got to set up my Xbox name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even joking. My name is like Cute Ferret and then a bunch of numbers. I was like, what? I'm impressed. I'm never playing Gigantic again now because like I'm like, make it a new one.
Cute ferret, huh? Let's see.
Yeah, but so and apparently though, Microsoft, there's no SLI support. VSync is always on. All of these things that you can't change, whether that's Splash Damage's fault or Windows' fault, we don't know. But Windows Store has gotten off on a very bad foot. I am going to give Windows Store a shot for Killer Instinct.
Okay, that they actually did pretty well.
They've got my one shot on Season 3. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to give it a shot on my PC. If it doesn't work, that's it. I'm done.
You're done. You're not calling them back anymore. You don't care.
I am done. Windows.
You're done. So cut off. But yeah, so that, and that breaks my heart because, even though I wasn't a huge fan of Peter Molyneux, I loved Fable and I loved Lionheart. So it breaks my heart that Lionheart Studios is breaking up. I mean, there are very few developers who I'd be like, it happens, kind of thing. But Lionheart Studios, come on, man, jerks. So.
And maybe and I think this is the last I'll talk about this. We'll move to another topic after this. The biggest issue is that Windows has done this before. Games for Windows Live killed several games, including Section 8 Prejudice. By the way, one of the best games ever. You cannot play it anymore because they killed Games for Windows Live. So even though it's sitting in my Steam library, I cannot launch it because it tries to connect to the Games for Windows Live servers, which, by the way, are down. So yeah, that's a problem.
Bunch of jerks. Yeah.
So that's just it. Is that if Windows was off to a rocky start, but this is their first time going in, fine. But if you haven't learned anything from Games for Windows Live, how can we expect you to do anything right in the future?
We forgave you for Vista.
We forgave them for ME.
And ME, and this is what you do. Sad. You were gonna Microsoft. I swear to God, you're gonna make me an Apple person, which is going to cause the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
It's don't make it happen.
Yeah. If I could, I still prefer PC Windows over Apple. Don't get me wrong there.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay. So going on to the next topic, we're going to move on to other stuff here. So yes, so this is going to be a good week for the Gosu Network because not only are we putting out these fantastic videos for you to watch and complain about us about, but Target is coming down to the studios. Yay! He's going to be here. So
hopefully, we'll go ahead and make the announcement here. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a copy of the Latin American Smite client onto our computers. And hopefully, we will be able to get the match IDs for this weekend's relegation matches. And we will cast them live from our studio. They will be replays, so they will be rebroadcasts. But part of that is because I'm going to be recovering from a 12-hour drive on Saturday.
It's going to
also,
hurt.
the studio's busy, but so the hope is that Sunday we'll be able to do them. And then that is then also kicking off the hope that we will be working with Level Up to bring one match a week live. And then if we have the time, I really, really, really would like to be able to then piece together a highlight video. Even if it's just a recap video where I say, hey guys, here are the results. This is what's going on. That might be all that it turns into. Obviously, the dream would be to actually make a full top 5 plays and do that every single week, but that's a full-time job. And we don't exactly have enough. As it is, we have too many full-time jobs. So the number of things that we're doing.
It's a bit of count. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our big announcement is that and we're kind of thinking about doing some Of course, we'll be streaming when he and I just feel like it from the studio itself. When we feel like playing
We
games.
might start streaming this actually. I had a thought was live streaming this on Twitch in front of a live studio audience. And
yeah,
then obviously it would go up on YouTube as well, but it would be similar to the what's that stupid podcast? Co-optional. There we go. The Total Biscuit.
Right. Yeah.
Because the majority of people obviously watch it on YouTube, but that way, if you have something that you can watch live on Twitch.
Yeah. And it's it's just one of those things that we're gonna be doing a lot more stuff live because we'll of course both be sitting there. So and we'll be in the studio. You'll actually see us sitting on the couch, watching tournaments and things like that. So we'll be eating pizza or whatever, and then talking about the games live. So you can kind of get our reaction to certain things and not just our weekly kind of summarize and gripe sessions, but you can actually see us, kind of really interacting face to face. And of course, we'll have special guests come in from time to time as they come up and that kind of thing. So that's going to be pretty cool. And the new studio and everything, I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Looking forward to all the stuff that we're going to be doing from the studio. We might even branch out a little bit from just Smite and Overwatch, depending. As you can tell, there are a couple games that we are excited about.
Dirty Bomb. So yeah, good place. Dirty Bomb. So,
I'll talk to him off air about the competitive scene. Don't worry, guys. But no, thank you all for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Once again. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta make sure. I gotta check last week's episode first to make sure that there's no
questions.
No questions. I apologize. I keep forgetting to do that. Well, no, it's, we didn't miss it. It was just supposed to be.
I would say, last I checked, I didn't see anything. So.
Godcast Studio Out of Office Edition. Here we go. Pause that. You guys don't have to hear it. And nope, just Bender being lifted up like Simba.
Yep. There you go.
So. All right, once again, guys, no, seriously, leave the questions, comments down below, or tweet at me at MTargetProduct, tweet at him at RedmageJR, tweet at Smite Central. Somebody will see it.
Or Gosu Network, or at Gosu Network, or somebody at some point will get back to you immediately about that. We're at our earliest convenience.
Yeah, so I recommend tweeting at our personal accounts. We're a little bit more likely to see those. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Once again, this is the last one that's going to be recorded and uploaded from the storage shed.
The storage shed that is your bedroom.
But this isn't even my bedroom. This is actually, this is just a piece of the basement.
Basement, yeah.
But farthest away from the cats. So thank you all for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Remember, if you do feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button up. We do upload tournament VODs as well as the Godcast, and I think JR is still working on some secret stuff, so I will not tell you all about that. Once again, thank you very much, though, and we'll see you all next week.